For those of you who don't know, Michel Sicard is one of the GOAT coaches, and he posted a list of uh, 25 lessons, 26 lessons on YouTube, intentionally unanalyzed. They're just lessons with a point, and then he goes through variations of what he wants the lesson to be about, and then shows it in use in actual high level footage. I have been going through these, and five at a time give me a little bit of perspective on what's happening. And I don't know why my internet is so awful. All right, straight attacks. Let's see what we can do. Drew me a phenomenal coupe to the foot for some reason. Grumier here as well with Sicard. Foot attack. One thing that's important on a foot attack is that you don't go down for a foot attack. You go forward and then bend your knees more and extend. And the extension will naturally lower your tip. And that's how you get a foot attack. But if you bend over, see, that's a full lunge from Grumier, just with a bit of a lower hand. You bend over with your body trying to get a foot attack, everything falls apart and you can't get back, and you're probably going to miss. And the other thing you can do with a foot attack is, because it's hard to really to parry a foot attack. So very commonly people will straight counter into it, especially with the flesh. If you draw that from out of distance, you go low, then you come up in 6, and exactly as he was doing before, you take the parry and then you hit them. Lunge on the step forward, coupe. One of the other things about foot attacks is that when your opponent is going backwards, the foot's the last thing to move. If you've got the timing for it, you go to the foot, and then even if they go backwards, it's the last thing to move. Not all touches will work, and so your coach should be giving you touches that fail in practice as well, in lesson as well, both intentionally and just on general principles. Like there, she missed. But she's willing to keep going. See Sicard taking a step backwards, but it's just the last thing to move. So this is the same many touches sequence he does that every coach really should be doing. Just mostly technical drilling. Can you get this touch and then this touch and then this touch, and stay balanced and ready for the next action? But here, because that's what the lesson is about, he has them incorporating a foot touch into the thing. Stay balanced, keep your knees bent, all the usual good stuff. Grumier is now a coach himself for France, and Gaetan Bia is his protege. So if you go watch some of Bia's touches, you can probably see some of the same lineage from Sicard. And there it is in real time. Look how straight he is, still looking forward. Atley Mulhausen should be your fantasy pick. Gumier. Oh, 12, that's where we are. Oh, yeah, and Malo. Attack on the preparation. So preparation is the thing you do to try to get your opponent ready to touch. So here, Quion is trying to take 6 and go, and Bardenet disengages around that and hits him while he's still trying to take 6. So here Sicard is prepping with an extension. And when he extends, the fencer takes a full lunge. And I'm honestly not sure who the fencer is. I don't recognize them offhand. So one of the things here that's important, I think he's trying to take the blade and he just missed there. It's a complex action. Is that not every opportunity needs to be taken or should be taken. You need to find your timing and your space. Yeah, he's doing opposition 6. It's almost from underneath rather than to the side, though. That's our friend Bardenet. Now we know how it got so good. That was very good. Bardenet was aware and relaxed, and he went underneath, and Sicard parried, and Bardenet had the timing to go around and back up again. One of the things we've learned a lot that Sicard likes to do is every once in a while he'll throw his fencers into a slappy situation and force them to react and hit him. It trains the crucial difference between an eyes closed and an eyes open action, where an eyes closed action is your two temples are, 1, 2. And if your eyes closed, as soon as you do the 1, you full commit to the 2, no matter what your opponent does. An eyes open action is you do your 1 and then you wait to see what your opponent is doing. Even if you continue with the 2, you look at your opponent while it's happening to see if you need to abort and do something else. Sort of the fencing coach's difference between a 1-tempo and a 2-tempo action. See? That's Sicard just punishing him for overcommitting, basically. Gotta get sloppy. It's one thing to do nice actions in lesson, but you never do nice actions really in a bout. Everything gets sloppier. So where in the last bout, the last lesson, he had the fencers doing 3-4 hits to the hand and then to the foot. Here it's hand and then in. Same deal of training multiple hits, but now you're training it with the attack and prep action that you were looking at before. It's the beat, disengage, up. Now we're back to the same. But I think this one is going on every action because it's training the techniques. It's not about the role playing. He's not playing with the distance. The card isn't playing with the distance. It's just how fast can you react to the coach's cue, which is also important to train, especially on something like this, which is so much about the timing. Doing it as soon as your opponent steps forward is good. If you wait for your opponent to be finishing their move or in the middle of their move, you'll be too late. And the timing on there is very tight. With far distance, but there it is. Kurian does a little extension as soon as he begins going forward with it. But in a full lunge. Defense. It seems to be a bit of a cycle, I think. Vladimir Taranenko is a name I've not heard in a long time. I think this is the defense against the attack and prep. Where Peter is trying to attack Gerant in prep and Gerant player posts. Interesting where he takes the 2 and then lets go. So maybe it's not defense against attack and prep. Maybe it's just another defense lesson. I think this is another fence or failed attack has to defend. So you're already in a bit of a compromised position. This is like a beat parry defense. That's pretty interesting. I don't like this view. I don't think it's useful. I guess it's just the beat, a bit more than a beat, but this parry release defense is what they're trying to train. Which is interesting. It's a very foil action to let go. Um, that's crazy. Um, hmm. But I guess if you know your opponent isn't going to keep going, or I guess if you know you've knocked their blade out of line long enough that at some point, you're here and this is an awkward angle to get the touch, even though a lot of people do it nowadays. But if you're here and you come straight at it, it's a lot faster. If you can catch your opponent's blade all the way out here with the beat, it's just like any other kind of a beat. We just shock their blade in position for a moment. Yeah, he's working on beats here. Okay, so that's what this is. These defensive beats, which only exist in epee. A lot of sentiment du faire, feeling the blade. As soon as the coach moves, it's a beat. You can hear it go. This is the high level action. I would not expect anybody not making the cut at Div 1 in the States at least to bother doing this at all. This requires a really high level of blade work to get it done. And you should be focusing more on footwork anyway. But it is cool. It is interesting. I did not know this was a thing you could do, and it's worth learning about as a spectator of the sport, if nothing else. Beat high, beat low, beat foot, beat high, beat chest. Yeah. This is just the sequence portion where you just train the action going in 5 or 6 or 7 different ways really fast. Yep. Boom, boom. I guess also if your opponent is coming in fast enough, all you need is the beat to knock their tip out of line. You don't need more than that. Back to attack. You're going shallow deep. I think we're going shallow deep. One to the hand, one to the body. With the goat Yannick Borel. Let's watch the feet. I want to see the feet when he's going backwards. This is kind of advanced lunge, where on the first with your front foot, you're hitting the wrist. And with your back foot, you're going lunge. And see, there he is, aborts the action, which is important in a general sense. I want to see the feet. Oop. There we go. This is what I want to see. Oh wow. Okay. So even though Sicard is going backwards, Yannick is doing a straight advanced lunge. He's not taking an additional step forward with the lunge. But I think probably if you were doing this yourself, and this is an action you should be able to do yourself, even at lower levels, if you need that extra step forward, take it. Let me think about it. Don't take it. Just do the deep lunge. Because that's an extra tempo you're giving your opponent to react. That's why it's just one deep lunge. But you know, good opportunity to practice your lunges. When you're doing a deep lunge, important thing that will really help, focus on landing on your heel, your front heel. The farther you get your front heel out, the deeper the lunge. But landing on the heel will make everything else work a lot better. You'll keep your knee behind your heel. You'll keep your body behind your knee. You'll keep your just everything will work out better if you try to land on your heel. And yeah, you know, like we said before, sloppier in bout, but it still works. You go easy, and you do it good in words, man. If you do it clean in a lesson, so you can do it sloppy in a bout, and it won't be too sloppy so that it fails. Right, back to attack and prep by spaced out. Defend an induced attack. So that's Jean-Michel Lucene pushing Heinzer until Heinzer feels like he has to attack. So this is Burrell, not Burrell, giving a false opening low, making Sicard think he can hit him, and then disengaging the take and going in high. It's probably Lucene. That's probably exactly who it is. Check out my video, Your Worst Nightmare, for some more Lucene hits. Defense with Preen. That was not much of an induced attack. That was just an attack. That was an induced attack. See, he's dropping his arm, exposing his... He's dropping his hand, exposing his arm. And then Sicard is coming in, and then he's doing the coupe kind of a flick action to the shoulder. Straight extensions are usually more invitations at a high level than threats. Although it depends a lot on how fast you do it. Pizzo's such an interesting fencer. See, it's the same 3-4-5 hit sequence, but it's all about how the sequence is started, which is Lucine comes in, opens for a false opening, and then Sicard pushes forward against it, and then you do the boom, boom, boom. Whereas before, the beat attack, the beat defense included a beat in one, and the foot attack included a foot shot in everyone. This one includes an induced attack in everyone, a false opening. If you're looking to coach, really good stuff here. Notice how he's never standing still, except for, maybe a small segment of it. But it's always in. He's giving him different variations on the action, making sure it fails sometimes. Lucine isn't taking every opportunity. Just high level coaching too here. Coupes feel so cool when you get them. I had a coach try to teach me coupes before he retired, and they felt so much fun. He's here without a mask because the coach does not have a blade. And that's the only reason you should ever be facing somebody without a mask on. The goal here is to train him to follow distance against the body, not the blade. Because the blade changes a lot. If you paid attention earlier in the stream, we were talking about how Bardinet was shifting from like an absence in 8 to a very forward en garde to try to change the distance, and even got a touch against Tulin with it. And that's why he's doing that. Sten Prienitz. All right. Thank you all very much for tuning in. This was a lot of fun. I will probably be back next week with more. Hope to see you then.